recording in progress.
Alrighty, welcome everyone to Live Trading with Kait. This is going to be my first session with my own company, KaitTrades.com. Really excited for you all to be here and experience a whole new way of trading. Many of you guys do know me from my previous company, the EliteTrade.com. Now I've ventured off and done my own company, which is KaitTrades.com. Great for me and for you guys. I'm putting my own spin on things. So what you're going to see during our session today is going to be completely different than what you've seen previously. So I'm very excited to be incorporating some new things that you haven't seen before into today's session. Hey, Sophia, so good to see you. The recording will be sent via email. Yes, so after today's session, you all will get the recording via YouTube for now. It should be a public link, so everyone will get the recording in case you can't attend the entire session or you do want to review it at a later session. So again, welcome everyone for being here. Ken, good to see you. Yeah, Jeff's all right. Again, we've just done our own things at this point. For me, Kait Trades has been my passion in, wanting to teach students and traders how to visualize the price charts in a more simplified approach, a more reinvented manner. I just want to keep things simple. I've been getting a lot of feedback and emails from students who have previously had trading education and have felt it's complicated, it's too fast-paced, they're not really getting the engagement that they desire. So what I want to incorporate during this session and all future sessions is just keep in mind, I want it to be interactive. I love that everyone's already typing in the chat. Really great to see everyone, some new faces. So thank you for coming. Again, these sessions aren't for me to talk for an hour. It's really for you guys to get your questions answered. If there's anything with your trading that you still struggle with and maybe you feel uncomfortable asking, if you feel like there's things you're just not getting and you're making the same mistakes over and over, I want you to feel comfortable with me in these sessions to ask those questions. No matter what they may be, I'm happy to help you and love to just keep these sessions, again, interactive, engaging. So love the feedback. Andrew, good to see you as well. Thank you for being here. Just going to be a enjoyable hour. I mentioned down here, grab a cup of coffee and learn a simplified approach to trading. Want to kind of bring it down a couple notches as far as trading. For me, I'm not all about the fast-paced go trading where we're getting in and getting out. I want to focus on some bigger picture trade opportunities that hone in on what the trend is and a new specific group of candles that I use to look for those high probability trade opportunities. So simplified approach, trading with the trend, very important. We want to be trading with the trend as an odds enhancer is stacking the odds in our favor. We've seen this past week, these markets have been having some pretty significant moves to the upside. So I want to focus on that, real time, what the markets are doing and how we can start, engaging with the markets and jumping in with some trade setups based off of the trend, trading with the trend, not looking for those short opportunities as much because we often see some short squeezes in the markets as they continue to push higher. Larger time frame key indicators are also going to be important. Again, just looking at the bigger picture is really what I'm going to be focusing on. And then you can also implement this process into the smaller time frames. Sophia, great question. So Sophia's question is, you don't use leg base anymore? The answer is no. So going to be using a new group of candles that, again, for me personally, I see it as a little bit stronger than leg base. Nothing against that for those of you who do use it, but I'm looking at a 2-candle pattern where we can often use it to look for longer running moves in the markets, as well as ways to splice in on pullback moves when we are trading with the trend. So going to be going over that in more detail. Again, really cool. I'm just very happy to have this company an opportunity to be able to showcase some of these key things that I use and have found helpful in my trading journey. Recordings are provided, so everyone in the room, you all will get the recording as mentioned on YouTube, and you all will have access to it. So again, everyone does have the ability to type in the chat. So again, I love the engagement already. Thank you all so much. Hey, Delphine, good to have you here. Let's see. So Kaitlyn, will your approach keep you in the market overnight? Good question, and that is absolutely probable if you do overnight trading. So for me, I do like some of those longer term trade opportunities to stay in them longer based on trading with the trend. So typically, again, the markets are going up. We want to stay with the trend. You can look to stay in some trade setups overnight. Really based on, your trade style and trade plan. I just want to implement some of these higher time frame skill sets that you can use in higher time frame trading. And then we'll dig down a little bit into the smaller time frames, but overall just keeping a much broader, a little bit more slow-paced approach in which we keep in mind where the big banks and institutions are looking to fill their orders. Markets are moving up, they're buying as the markets are going up. They're not necessarily shorting on those pullback moves. We want to keep in mind where the big banks and institutions are coming in and implementing their trade setups. We want to think smart, not necessarily harder, trade smarter, not harder. So I'm going to be incorporating that during today's session. Yeah, very excited, Andrew. Let's jump right into it. I know we only have an hour. Couple disclosures: the information contained should not be construed as a recommendation or an offer to buy or sell any security or financial instrument, solely for educational, informational purposes only. Again, to give you a glimpse into my new approach of how I read the price charts and look for those high probability trade opportunities, implementing it overall in the live markets. The markets are going to be opening up in about 22 minutes, but I do want to give you that background as far as what I'm looking for and how it works time and time again. Hey, Sophia, let's see. So with anybody that has taken a one-on-one with you, does that mean we are starting all over and none of the previous information applies? No, not necessarily. So if you did the one-on-one with me, that's still all applicable as far as what I was teaching. This is just going to be a deeper dive in an odds enhancer for the one-on-one coaching that you did previously. So keep that in mind. Whatever you did learn on the one-on-one coaching, it is still applicable. This is just going to be kind of shining some new light on some additional information that may help you in your trading. And I hope it does. A bunch of you have already signed up for the one-on-one coaching on the website. With having my own company as well, I do want to give a lot more people the opportunity to sign up for the one-on-one coaching. So it is at discounted rates right now. Even the live trading with Kait sessions are discounted from what they were previously. So again, just want as many people to take advantage of these opportunities, get your questions answered, and feel comfortable, asking those questions in these sessions so you can take your trading a little bit further and become more confident with your setups. So great questions. Yeah, if you have done the one-on-one coaching, this is just going to be kind of the next level on top of that and my own spin on how I see things. All right, so what's different about Kait Trades? First thing, already mentioned it, the importance of higher time frames. So big picture, right? We want to see where the big banks and institutions are trading. Are they looking for long opportunities? Are they looking for short opportunities? Where we really see that is the monthly, the weekly, and the daily charts. Now, oftentimes these are overlooked. I know it can be, so tempting to go down those rabbit holes of looking at the minute charts and the tick charts. For me, that can get a little too stressful, small time frames, you're in and out of trades quickly. Really just want to focus on, again, big banks and institutions. What are they looking at? What side of the trades are they, looking to be on? And how can we participate in those setups? So higher time frames, monthly, weekly, and daily, going to be key in understanding our trade setups during live trading with Kait. Number 2, trading with the trend. So once we've assessed the monthly, weekly, and daily charts, we need to identify trend based on those time frames. Are we in a consistent uptrend? Are we in a downtrend, a sideways trend? Once we can identify this, we're going to go through in more detail during today's session just how to identify trend on various time frames. Then we can be more confident splicing into some of our trade setups. So this is really the foundation: large time frames, bigger picture. What is trend? What are the higher time frames doing? That can give us a better idea of where we should be looking to enter our trades with higher probability. Number 3, identifying impulse versus correction moves. So people often get confused when we have corrections, we're in a downtrend, or when we have impulse moves, we're in an uptrend. Not necessarily the case. When we have uptrends, so if we're in an uptrend, number 2, we look for impulse moves up but then we also experience correction moves down. So knowing when we're in a correction move can be key for looking for a way to splice in on a pullback for a long trade opportunity. If we're in an impulse move, we look to buy during that impulse as the markets are moving up. We can look to add on positions as the markets are moving higher in the context of an uptrend and vice versa. So that's number 3. And number 4, completely new. So just keep an open mind with this one. It's going to be Kait's 2-candle flip pattern. So this is a new way that I'm using to implement where we look for, number 1, a high probability change of direction. And number 2, it can be found on the high and low time frames. Hey Delphine, let's see, with the higher time frame approach, can you still look for daily income? Absolutely. Yeah, so the higher time frames is really just to build our confidence with understanding what side of the trade do we want to be on to look for the daily income, right? So we can use it for the smaller time frames, daily income. If we look at, more 4-hour time frames, hourly, that's really up to you. Just understanding higher time frame can give us more of an odds enhancer for what side of the trades we want to be on. But yes, to answer your question, absolutely. Higher time frame approach, you can still look for daily income, weekly income, monthly, and then even breaking it down to the smaller time frames. So the 2-candle flip pattern is going to be key for looking for where price changes direction. I'm going to be showcasing that as we move forward. So this is going to be your new prep screen, comprehensive prep screen moving forward in our live trading with Kait sessions. Now I've restructured it based off of what I feel is most important to traders to go through their pre-market routine each morning before the market opens. We want to have that big picture overview of what's going on in the markets, what's the trend, and then where our 2-candle flip zones are at. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. I did want to, I know Andrew's comment, I like the simple visual. I do want to simplify things. Again, for me, learning how to trade was very complicated. It was stressful. I want to kind of bring that down a couple notches just so more people can participate and feel comfortable with the trade setups that they're doing. So here's the new prep screen. Excited to showcase this with everyone. So top left corner, trading tip of the day. Middle box here, news and economic events. Over on the right side, over here, I'm going to include a spotlight trade of the day. The spotlight trade is going to be futures product. It could be a stock, just something where we're lining up trend based on monthly, weekly, and daily. Overall, we want to see all the trends moving in the same direction to stack the odds in our favor with our long trade opportunities. Dingo, absolutely. So the Dingo's question is, so the strategy would be for longer running trades. Absolutely, but you can also implement it on the smaller time frames. So it's not exclusively for longer time frames or higher time frames, but I would say yes for longer running trades. So for me, I think when I was learning, I was getting in and out of trades really, really quickly. I would only stay sometimes a couple seconds, sometimes even a minute, felt like forever trying to stay in a trade. And that stress of not knowing if I was in a good trade or not, I didn't like that feeling. So really just understanding this process of trend, the 2-candle flip zones can kind of take out some of that angst and make it simplified, kind of bring it a little bit to a more calmer, slow-paced perspective. Whether you're a longer term trader or short term, again, this process does apply to the smaller timeframes as well. Just really open to how you implement it, what timeframes you look at. For me, though, higher timeframes are key with seeing where the big players are at. So right-hand side is going to be a spotlight trade. Again, this is futures and stocks. Some of the feedback I was getting from students was that not only did they trade futures, but they were big stock traders as well. So I do want to incorporate that during my sessions as well, that I don't want to focus just on futures. I do want to incorporate more stock trades, really incorporating based on your feedback, what you look at. So specific charts, you can always type in the chat, say, Kaitlyn, I'm looking at Boeing today, or I'm looking at Bank of America, anything like that, Meta, type it in the chat. We can bring up a chart and go through this process together to look for those trade opportunities that are a little bit higher probability. All right, and then the bottom grid here, a little bit different than what you're used to, is going to be our equity indexes grid. We start off on higher time frames, identifying trend, uptrend, green arrow up, sideways trend is the yellow arrow sideways, downtrend, red arrow down. Now for us, we want to have as many of these be in the same direction as possible, right? So that's why Apple is in our spotlight, is because it is in a monthly, weekly, and daily trend to the upside. So we're looking for long trade opportunities. That's going to mean either looking for pullbacks into the 2-candle flip or taking breakout trades to the upside. So that process is the same, where we're looking to buy low and sell high, but now we're buying low in our 2-candle flip zones. In this example here, so let me zoom in on this. This is going to be Apple, and this is our spotlight trade. So notice this big move up. On the monthly, weekly, and daily charts, we identified trend, that it was an uptrend for the monthly, weekly, and daily. That's all a great odds enhancer for then leading to how are we going to splice into an uptrend on Apple. Based on trend being up, monthly, weekly, daily, we're looking for, lastly, our 2-candle flip zone. What that is for our long trade opportunities is that we're looking for a red candle coming down, and then a green candle closing within the red candle. So we're really flipping the direction of where price was previously going down. Notice at the end of this downtrend, we had our red candle, and then we had a green candle flip. It's that 2-candle flip I'm going to be focusing on, and that was the origin of this move higher. So one, it can be an odds enhancer for where we're anticipating price to change direction, looking for those longer running moves to the upside or to the downside. In this case, looking for a long trade to the upside with the trend being higher. And then, so say you missed the 2-candle flip at the origin of this move, then you're looking for ways to splice in. That's where you could change the time frame from a daily chart, go down to a 4-hour, a 2-hour, a 1-hour, and look for the 2-candle flip again. Again, keeping it very simple, very methodical, just trying to not make it as complicated for people, but really just key things. What's the trend? Higher time frames. Where's your 2-candle flip? That one can be at the origin of those big moves. And on the smaller time frames, if you're looking for ways to splice in for intraday trading, then you look for the 2-candle flip on the smaller time frames. Delphine, love that you're typing so much. Thank you so much. Really surprised for your age. You'd be taking the trading pace to a slower, calmer pace. I think I'm going to enjoy this. I really appreciate that. Yeah, for me, I don't like the fast pace, tick charts, minute charts. For me, that gets stressful. I don't know if I'm going to be right, if I'm going to be stopped out. For me, focusing on a little bit bigger picture can kind of bring a much better perspective of my trading and just building up my confidence in those trade setups. So again, excited to share this with everyone. Again, that's that 2-candle flip in action here at the origin of a move to the upside. What we'll start doing is going down to the smaller time frames to look for ways to splice in. It's going to be, again, about that 2-candle flip zone. Our grid here, again, we have monthly, weekly, daily trends, and then the 2-candle flip zone that I identified on the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Russell, and the Dow. So you'll notice some of these zones are pretty crazy big at this point. S&P, for example, 42.90 for the entry, stop at 42.34. So that's, what is that, almost 60 points worth of risk. That's not a place where we're looking to take a zone, more for illustrative purposes at this point as I walk through the rest of the pre-market routine. Just understanding that when you find those flip zones, you're not always necessarily going to buy in the zone on the pullback, but when you start going down to the smaller time frames and you find those new flip zones, then you can look to trade as price comes back down to those areas. Let's see, at the 190, there was a flip. Oh, good question, Gary. Let's see, 190. So for the flip, and we'll go over that one next, I'm going to jump over to Apple. So the flip is going to be red candle coming up, and then, green candle coming up, red candle closing in the green candle. So let's jump out to Apple now that, we're getting a glimpse of this and a new way of seeing things. Let me bring up Apple. All right. So I've cleaned up my charts, again, completely new in how we see things. Starting off with Apple on the monthly chart. Let me just see if I can make the font a little bigger for you guys to see. That might help. Okay, a little bit better there. So Apple, starting off on the monthly and keeping it simple. What's the trend? Don't overcomplicate it. We can see that going back, a couple years, monthly chart, highest time frame. We're in a pretty big uptrend, so we're looking for long trade opportunities. That's what we put on our prep screen here. Monthly trend, Apple spotlight, and an uptrend. So again, first thing, uptrend, good sign for us. You'll notice here, if you want and use Thinkorswim, I have a lot of higher time frame, kind of oddball time frames that a lot of people don't use, but I find helpful for myself. They do have time frames where you can look at yearly charts, quarterly charts, options expiration, weekly, of course, and then they also have 4-day, 3-day, 2-day, 1-day. So I'm a big fan of these larger time frames, again, to look for those 2-candle flip patterns. If I start seeing them on these higher time frames, that's going to be an odds enhancer to start looking for them on the smaller time frames as well. So monthly, uptrend, drop it down to the weekly chart. We've started making an uptrend. This one, we're a little bit of a pullback here, but I would say overall we have been in more of an uptrend. We've been, and this is going to be part of it, is identifying impulse and corrective moves. Impulse move up, corrective move down. So overall, we're in a move up, we're getting a pullback, but that just means looking for a way to splice in with the 2-candle flip. Bringing it down to the daily chart. See, it's connecting. Sorry about that. I think the internet just glitched for a second. Is everyone still there? Let me share my screen again. Okay, phew. All right, it's just like kicked me out for a second. Thank you guys. Alrighty, so good to see everyone. Thank you all for staying here and not getting kicked out. All right, so as we were going through it, drop down Apple to the daily chart, and we've got that 2-candle flip pattern. So again, what that is red candle, green candle closing in the body. Where we place our lines is our entry goes at the top of the body of the green candle. Stop line goes to the bottom of the wick of the lowest point. It's very simple. That gives us an entry and a stop based on that 2-candle flip. And we see that that was at the origin of this big move to the upside. Now, what I'm going to show you is that it's happening time and time again. I want you guys, after this session, just start looking at charts and see how many times it appears. It's a big eye opener, especially for me with my trading and how I see things. It made things a lot clearer. Thank you all for confirming in the chat. Here's another one here. Red candle coming down, green candle closing in the body. Place your lines, entry, stop, big move to the upside, origin of a big move. So when you start seeing that at the origin of a move to the upside, that's when you're looking for ways to splice in. Yes, thank you, Michael. So where we're looking for the flip, let me zoom in. So when you're looking, let me even go back a bit. So say your chart, you're looking at Apple, prices coming down, and you're looking for where potentially is there going to be a change of direction. Number one, that's where the flip candles come into play. At the end of this move down, we have our red candle coming down, green candle closing in the body. So you're just focusing in on these 2 candles right here. When you have the red candle coming down, green candle closing up, and you think about price action during this too, is that price was coming down, strong move down, and then all of a sudden there was a stack of buyers here that changed direction, pushed price up, and created a green candle showing that while price was coming down, we had a significant amount of buy orders coming in, flip price back up, and then price closed inside that red candle. Large stack of buy orders here, That is again going to be that 2 candle flip that we look for when we're looking for the origin of the next move to the upside, which we can see happened here. So I just want to make sure, Michael, that I'm answering your question right. Can you draw where you highlight the flip? Yeah, so right here on the chart, because again, we didn't have the 2 candle flip. See, red candle. That was just a base candle, base, green. The first time we had that flip candle was these 2 candles right here. Oops. Yes, that 2 candle flip, again, is going to be the area where we're looking into for that change of direction. See, hey, Christina, NASDAQ demand territory is 187 points. How should we use it? Right. Okay. So a lot of these trade setups, if your 2 candle flip is large like this, that's where we're going to start looking into a deeper dive into how we can splice in and finding future 2 candle flip patterns. So I'm going to be doing that in a little bit more detail. Michael, let me know. Okay, I see your next question. That could just be a base for a continuation. Possibly. So with the base, what I focus on more with that is that we don't get the flip. So here, notice how we had this drop, this red candle, and then we had a red base and then a green base. So oftentimes from my experience is that if we just have this basing like this is when we get those continuation moves lower. It's really the flip that can indicate a change of direction when we have a strong green candle that closes in the red candle. If we're just seeing some basing like this, it may be, just as Michael mentioned, a continuation, just some consolidation before the next move down. But that's really why looking for that strong flip is key in looking for a change of direction. So we don't necessarily want to be picking bottoms, which is going to lead into the next part of how do we splice in and get a little bit more confirmation that this is a flip versus just a continuation. As we go back though, so there's the 2 candle flip. Just want to show you some other areas where we had the 2 candle flip. Red candle coming down, strong green candle, closing in the red candle. 2 candle flip isolated with our entry and stop line. Big move to the upside. Now at this point, we were in a little bit more of a downtrend. So this is where, coming back to our PowerPoint, we start off each session with trend, monthly trend, weekly trend, daily trend. So on this chart, and coming back, we were in a little bit more of a downtrend at this point. We had the 2 candle flip, so we were looking for, here we go, markets are open. We were looking for more of a move to the upside. With the 2 candle flip, just may have been shorter term if you were basing off the trend being more to the downside. 2 candle flip, price rallied to the upside. This was the origin of a strong move higher, and then price came back down and changed direction there. So it can really be, so valuable and, just so strong in these candles and what we look for, of one being at the origin of these big moves. Again, looking for ways to splice in. I'm going to keep basing off this one here. So if you miss that 2 candle flip or that zone is too big, notice we had another 2 candle flip here. Price rallied up. We had a pullback. That was that correction move. And then price continued to rally. So when we're looking at trend, we're looking at impulse and corrective moves. Going back to our PowerPoint, that was one of the 4 things that are different about Kait trades, is that higher time frames, trading with the trend. Number 3 is those impulse and corrective moves, as well as the 2 candle flip. So 2 candle flip, another 2 candle flip. What we would have identified at this point is that we were having a impulse move followed by a corrective move. So those pullbacks, often people are a little bit more fearful. They freak out. They think the trend is going back down. Really just a corrective move before the next impulse wave to the upside. So I want to bring more light on that as far as trend, impulse corrections, and the 2 candle flip patterns. And then again, price formed another 2 candle flip, but then price also came back down, respected the 2-candle flip, and we had a couple nice trade opportunities from there. Do this time and time again, just taking that one off. Let's see, coming back over here. And just look at all the spots where we have those 2-candle flip patterns. Red candle coming down, green candle closing up, 1, origin of a strong move higher, 2, pullback move into the 2-candle flip. So we're using it as different odds enhancers and looking for the origin of price changing direction and looking for those pullback moves. Okay, I see a lot of messages coming through the chat, so let me just come back up and make sure I'm getting everyone's questions answered. Let's see, so Christina's comment, the NASDAQ demand territory is 187 points. How should we use that? Yeah, great question, Christina. Let me go back to here. So yeah, if your buy zone, again, this is more for illustrative purposes at this point with the 2-candle flip zone that we're looking at for the long trade, 14,900 to 14,589. That is almost 400 points worth of risk on the NASDAQ. Number one, way too much risk to be taking on a trade. However, why I put this here is more of an odds enhancer that the monthly trend is up, the daily trend is up, finding a 2-candle flip buy zone. That's when you're going to want to start looking for more of these 2-candle flips on the smaller time frames. So we could wait for a pullback. Again, that 2-candle flip zone is way too much risk. In the future, in our future live trading with Kait sessions, I'm going to be giving you a little bit more accurate zones as far as our 2-candle flips, where we can look for some more daily trades during the live trading sessions. In this example here, just kind of giving you a brief overview as far as what that 2-candle flip is and how it can be the origin of some of these longer running moves. So let's see, I got Christina, Michael, Delphine. Let's see, if I look to a lower time frame, will I find drop base rally or rally base rally? Yeah, so good question. That's more different strategy. Drop base rally, rally base rally. I see where you're going with that. But yeah, I mean, you could see it as price dropped, we based, and we rallied. So if that helps you in visualizing that way, you can use that. For me, how I visualize it, I don't like a lot of just kind of sideways basing because sometimes there's not as many unfilled orders there. By focusing on the colors and the red candle coming down, green candle closing in the red candle, we're seeing some more buying and some more strength from this 2-candle flip versus if you're visualizing this as a drop base rally, there may not be as many unfilled orders at that point because we don't really know how strong it is. So again, by looking for the colors specifically, that gives us more of an odds enhancer on the strength of the 2-candle flips. Hey Ken, let's see. So do you enter the day after you see the flip candles? Yes. So that is one on the smaller time frames. We're looking for the 2-candle flips. Once you see it, that's when you can start looking for those breakout trades or pullbacks into those 2-candle flips. But once you see those, again, odds enhancer to start looking for a way to enter your trade setups. Again, this was an odds enhancer where, again, going back here, if you saw this, you may be a little hesitant to go long just because of the trend being a little bit more to the downside at that point. So what you can do is wait for the breakout. Notice how price rallied up. We broke out of that 2-candle flip. And then we pulled back into it. So for me, I want a little bit more confirmation with the 2-candle flip that we're seeing momentum to the upside. So with the 2-candle flip, that's just an indicator that we're seeing a change in direction, waiting for the pullback move, and then looking for a longer running move. Notice stock market is open currently. Apple is at 178. Green candle for today so far. Focused on trend. And a lot of people may see this as a topping pattern, looking for short trades. But again, tying in the 2-candle patterns, the trend, and looking at impulse and corrective moves, this pullback could have just been a correction in a larger time frame uptrend, which is why we're seeing some buying coming in. So be cautious again with your short trades when you're in a higher time frame uptrend. We're looking for ways to splice in long when the trend is to the upside. So yes, those expanded candles must be institutional candles, simple, exactly. So yeah, keeping it simple and focused on strength versus if a candle's, a rally-based rally, drop-based drop, things of that sort don't necessarily bring to light the strength behind the candles and if there's a large stack of unfilled orders at that point. So for me, by focusing on the colors, I am more confident on the strength of the two candle flip and looking for price to move in that direction. So you're just coming down, a lot of questions. I love it though. Glad you guys are enjoying this. So you wait for the green candle to close, then enter on the next candle. You could, that's up to you at that point, KB, as far as your entry. Now, I'm going to be going into that in more detail during live trading with Kait. Again, those sessions are, if you haven't signed up yet, those sessions are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. So made it 3 days a week, so you guys get a lot out of them. But I've also made them 1 hour just to make it concise, methodical. We don't need to be spending, 6 hours in a live trading class. I know you guys have jobs, you guys have extracurricular activities. I don't want to keep you for longer than you need to be in a trading classroom environment. So just 1 hour, keeping it simplified. And yeah, focused on those two candle flip patterns is key. So entry point and looking for the flip, or looking for ways to splice in. Hey, Dingo. So I'm just slowly going down all the questions. Again, thank you guys for asking all of these. Dingo's question is, does it matter if each candle is either a leg or a base candle, or is it more important that the second closes inside the other? The answer to that question is it's more important that the second closes inside the previous candle. So I'm kind of shying away from if you focused on leg or base candles. I'm focused more on strength at this point based on color and, as Dingo mentioned, where it closes. So here's the leg candle, the red candle, high to low. We just want to see that there's a green candle closing within the high to low of that red candle. If price closed higher, there's more strength. We're seeing a lot more institutional buying coming in. But ultimately, yeah, we just want to see a green candle closing within the range of the previous candle, showing that there's a lot of strength that caused price to stop going down, change direction, and flip back to the upside. Okay, I think I'm getting closer, actually not quite, to the questions. Michael's question is, so you're saying the change candle should close inside the body of the previous candle. Going back to Dingo's question, more that it's closing within the range of the candle. So what you would do, mark the high, mark the low, and then we're just looking for the flip, the green candle, and is it closing within the high to low? Not necessarily the body. For me, a higher close. So if price, we can see in this example here, closed at 170.71. If it closed higher up, that's just showing me that there's more strength behind the two candle flip. So it would have been nice if it closed at 171 or 172. The higher up it closes, the more strength there is. So keep that in mind, that it's all about price action, buying, and the strength of the buying that we're seeing. So not necessarily leg or base, but more of, does it close within the range of the candle and how high up does it close? Let's see. So how long do you typically stay in the trade? That's Sophia's question. So that's really up to you guys. I like to stay in it a little bit longer term, a couple hours, sometimes overnight, based off of, some of these really big, trending market conditions like the equity indexes. On Sunday, when we saw the equity indexes gapping down inside the prior trading sessions range, I know a lot of traders out there were looking for shorts. They saw the gap down, they were freaking out. But what we're going to be seeing is that two candle flip was present in those equity indexes. So kind of gives you a little bit bigger perspective as far as where we're seeing the big banks and institutions buying. That gap down doesn't necessarily mean a lot of selling. It's just that correction move back down to the two candle flip for your trade opportunity and the next impulse wave to the upside. All right, we're almost at the end. Thank you guys for your patience. Ken says, how do you determine the trend direction on the higher time frames? Great question. Let me jump into that. I'm going to jump into that next on the equity indexes and show you guys trend in a little bit more detail. And then Delphine's questions, do you look at volume and candle size or how much the candle is in the body of the 2-candle flip? I think you may have asked that before I answer it, so thank you. I can re-emphasize that again. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking at volume for sure. Now, if your 2-candle flip is formed on high volume, odds enhancer right there, right? This whole process is where are the big banks and institutions getting involved? Where are their unfilled orders? We're looking to trade with them. So absolutely volume is a necessity in understanding where those 2-candle flips are higher probability. The second question, how much the candle is in the body, of course. So again, going back to even this one over here, you know, we had a pretty big move to the upside here. With that 2-candle flip, red candle coming down, green candle closing within the range. It closed a little bit lower than I would have liked to. So in this case, I would have been looking for a little bit more confirmation. Notice how price rally out of there. We saw the strength. So then at that point, what I'm looking for is that pullback down, forming the next 2-candle flip. Odds enhancer there. Again, people are fearful, they're freaking out, markets are dropping, they're shorting. But when you find the 2-candle flips, it can take a lot of that emotion out of it to stay in some of these trade setups longer. Again, we're seeing Apple right now, again, just continuing its move to the upside. Again, those small corrective moves aren't ways to get in short. Some people do, and they're fine with those smaller time frame entries. But for me, I'm really looking for ways to stay in trades longer when we identified trend, 2-candle flips, and looking for ways to splice in. Sophia's question, how do you determine what you will trade in the morning? Do you do Discord as well? So I just started up the Discord. For everyone in here, I'm going to post the link, so I haven't even shared it yet, just with today being the first live trading with Kait session. But let me grab that link. I would love for you guys to jump into the Discord group. I'm going to be posting more and more in the Discord group just as we move forward. Just kind of want to give you guys, again, this overview of what we're looking for with the 2-candle flip. You know, things are a little bit different in how I'm teaching and getting you guys familiar with this new strategy. Okay, so I was able to grab the Discord. I'm going to post the link in the chat. See, if you're watching the recording and you want the Discord link, it should be sent out in a follow-up email. And you can also email me. My new email is tradingcoach@kaittrades.com. All right, so in the chat, there's a Discord group link. I'm giving everyone who's in today's session that link just for being here, and, you know, just appreciate you guys all joining me as I showcase a whole new way of looking at the price charts. Make sure you get signed up, and you guys will be the first ones in here. So looking forward to having you in the Discord and everything that I've got planned moving forward. So many new things that I want to share with you guys, just trying to condense it into the best, you know, overview for this hour session. Again, Andrew mentioned, let's see, FOMC, 2 p.m. Yeah, let's go back to our prep screen. So prep screen each morning for live trading with Kait. You get the trading tip of the day. You get your news. So for here, I have US futures step higher with Fed minutes and inflation data on deck. Odds enhancers that some things are going to be coming up that's going to be jolting the markets. So we want to keep an eye on what the Fed minutes are, inflation data, coming down to our economic reports. We see several Fed chairmen speaking today, 10:15, 12:15, 4:30. We know Fed chairman speaking often causes volatility, a little bit more, you know, choppy market conditions when they're speaking. So just want to be cautious during those times. And then, as Andrew mentioned, FOMC is going to be 2 p.m. Eastern time today. So We always want to keep an eye on when we start our day with our pre-market routine with live trading with Kait, that we're keeping an eye on the news, economic events, trading tip of the day, our spotlight trade, which can lead to some of those longer running trades, and then our equity index grid. I'm going to start going through the equity indexes. Email also, please. Yes, I can do that. So I'll use the emails that you use to sign up for today's session. I'll include the Discord link in that email. Thank you, Michael. I'm going to make a note of that so I don't forget. Discord link. Okay, perfect. Okay, what helped you with spotting? Let's see. Hey, Sophia, what helped you with spotting and focusing on those 2 candle flips instead being used to spotting leg base, leg base? Great question. I love that. For me, it just kind of simplified the approach. So instead of looking for 4 candles, I'm just looking for 2. And what I think helped me was that I could see the change of direction more and anticipate the strength behind the move. So it's seeing the red candle, green candle closing in the body by just focusing on 2 candles, understanding that what's happening in that 2 candle flip is that there's a significant change of direction that we can see from the colors. I think that helped me in my trading, honing in on this versus any other groups of candles. Yeah, and just the more I tested it, the more, I saw it over and over again. One more thing on Apple, and I'm just going to go through what we'll be doing for the rest of, our pre-market routine each morning and live trading with Kait. But daily chart, 2 candle flip there. Now, for those of you who do like the smaller time frames, and again, I mentioned looking for ways to splice in. And zooming in here. So you may ask, well, this is a pretty big zone, 2 candle flip. It missed me. What do I do now? How do I get in? All those questions will be answered during our live trading with Kait sessions. Just to show you, entry 170.71, stop at 167.57. But again, as I'm mentioning, we want to identify where those 2 candle flip patterns occur during these moves. Red candle coming down, green candle closing in the body, or green candle closing within the red candle, 2 candle flip. After your first 2 candle flip, we had another 2 candle flip. Price rallied up, respected it, trend continued to the upside. Let me zoom in more. 2 candle flip, breakout, pull back. Next 2 candle flip, red candle coming down, green candle closed within the red candle, 2 candle flip, price rallied, pulled back, respected it, continued moving to the upside. That's on the hourly chart. And again, we're going to continue to look for ways to splice in with the 2 candle flip pattern. See, 30-minute time frame. So again, it's really up to you based on what time frames you look at. It's very flexible, but as mentioned from our class and our prep this morning, focusing on the higher time frames is going to be more significant just with identifying the higher time frame trend. Here's one more here that I'm seeing, 30-minute time frame. Let me remove these 2 ones. Red candle coming down, green candle closing in the red candle. Now this one I like a lot more. Who can guess why? Yes, let me put my email address in the chat for you guys. It is tradingcoach@kaittrades.com. Any questions that you have, on the live trading with Kait classes and the one-on-one coaching classes, again, those are all at discounted rates. I do want to, encourage as many people, even if you've been discouraged with trading in the past, I want you guys to try this approach. Come with me. I love the interaction. I feel that's what helps other people the most, is not listening to me talk for an hour straight and not having that interaction. Your feedback, your questions are what make you better traders. That's ultimately why I'm doing this, is to help you guys see things a little bit more clearly, make it less complicated, take a lot of the emotion out of it and just make things simplified. So here's another one. Red candle coming down, green candle in the red candle. Can anyone guess, based on what I've been talking about so far, why I would like this candle, this 2-candle flip, better than some of the previous ones? Hey, Ryan, good to see you. Break out with the trend. There we go. Trend is moving up. We had that pullback move, 2-candle flip at the origin of that breakout move, trading with the trend. Check, 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 everything that we've been talking about. One other thing is, there you go. Good job, Delphine. I love that. Took most of the other candle. Yeah, so I briefly mentioned that. Notice where that green candle closed in the red candle. It closed very high versus some of the previous ones weren't closing quite as high up in that red candle. This one I love because of so much buying coming in that pushed the green candle up. So we saw a lot of buying coming in. If you miss the breakout, or you do like breakouts, you can take that. For me, I like to participate on some of those pullback moves as price comes back down to the 2-candle flips. So a couple odds enhancers there. Breakout with the trend, absolutely, and where it's closing relative to the red candle. Sophie's question is, how long have you been testing this? Several years now. You know, this was something that I've always seen. I just didn't know how to properly teach it in a way that made sense for me and for other people. So by breaking down the prep each morning in a new approach and kind of simplified based on trend and the 2-candle flip, I feel that most traders will kind of gravitate towards this more in just the simplicity and understanding. All right, is this a trending trade? Is this a counter trend trade? Where are my flip candles? Where am I looking for pullbacks, corrections, impulse moves? All of that can be applied in our prep each morning. So each morning, again, you'll also get a prep of the equity indexes. So I just want to start with the S&P and kind of go through these quickly. Wow, today has gone by so fast. You guys make it go by faster with your questions though. So thank you for engaging in the chat. Absolutely love it. 2-candle flip on the daily, big move up. Now, we're talking about shorts before. Not sure who mentioned this, but we're looking for the short sides too. We haven't talked about that yet. Now, each morning I'll mark a 2-candle flip. This one we have on the daily chart. This one I have 2-candle flip 3-day. So you'll notice when I started off the session this morning is that I use some oddball time frames that we haven't really used before, but focused on the higher time frames. Thinkorswim people, I know you have access to this, where you have access to the 4-day, 3-day, and 2-day. I actually do enjoy those for finding the flip candles. So on the 3-day, so 3-day candle, it took 3 days to form this candle. Green candle coming up, red candle closing in the green candle. That's our 2-candle flip. Either we'll look for a short trade here as price rallies up into it, but we also want to identify trend first on the equity indexes based on our prep. Monthly trend is up, weekly trend is down, daily trend is up. Keep it simple. So we'll start off each session with the monthly trend. Monthly trend, just step back, a couple years, look at what's been going on the monthly chart. Overall, we've been in a pretty significant uptrend. This was that correction move back down, but overall the markets are moving to the upside. That correction just led to the next impulse wave to the upside. So monthly is up. You can even draw your trend lines too. If that's a better visual, just looking at where price has been respecting and holding those trend lines here on the monthly, last 10 or so candles showing that we're in a monthly uptrend. Weekly, a little bit more down. We did make a lower high and a lower low. So coming back to our prep screen, weekly trend down. So weekly trends down, not necessarily great, but let's still keep going through our process. And then lastly, daily uptrend, as we have been making several green candles as the markets have been moving higher. Again, we even see today's session, we're up 9 points. We had this wick coming down, but when incorporating trend and the 2-candle flip, we're looking for larger time frame, long trade opportunities on the equity indexes. The daily trend is up. For our biggest odds enhancers, we want all of these obviously to be the same color to be stacking the odds in our favor. So again, this one, the weekly trend a little bit more down. That's going to be a bit of a red flag and something we do want to consider. If we can go through this process and have all green or all red, those are going to be odds enhancers for those trade setups. So S&P, 2-candle flip here for long trades, 2-candle flip for short trades, and we found that 2-candle flip on the 3-day time frame. Coming over to NASDAQ. Here we have our 2-candle flip on the daily chart. This was our really wide zone, 14,902 down at 14,589. Not a zone we want to take, but again, an odds enhancer for looking for a change of direction, which we've been seeing the past several days. Price rallied and stopped today at our 6-hour 2-candle flip. So why did price stop here? Bring it down to the 6-hour time frame. And there we have it. Green candle, red candle closing in the green candle. Isolate the 2-candle flip. Price change direction once, twice. Again, keeping it simple, we can find these flip zones on the larger time frames and the smaller time frames. Ultimately, we look for it for where price changes direction, as well as for counter trend trade opportunities and where price is likely to change direction. Coming over to the Russell. 2-candle flip down here was on the 3-day, and here we have our 2-candle flip on the daily on Russell. So again, price has been respecting our short 2-candle flip. Green candle coming up, red candle closing within the body. Price rallied up, changed direction today. 2-candle flip down there is on the 3-day. Red candle coming down, green candle closing within the body. Again, 3 days, a little bit of an oddball, but we do see that price form that 2-candle flip. Nice move to the upside. Just again, be careful as we go through the pre-market routine and looking at the trend on each of these and identifying if we are in a monthly, weekly, and daily uptrend or downtrend. Lastly, the Dow. Here's our daily 2-candle flip down here. 2-candle flip. Wanted to throw this one out there for those of you who do like the kind of oddball time frames. This 2-candle flip was on the 47-minute time frame. So time frame, intraday, I'm going to bring it out to 20 days and then do 47-minute. Green candle coming up, red candle closing within the green candle. Price rallied up, changed direction. As we start off today's session, price rallied up, changing direction again. But again, looking for that to be a little bit shorter term due to the fact when we come back to our prep screen, trend is to the upside on the monthly and daily charts. We are just about up with our session. Thank you guys so much for engaging in the chat. I do want to encourage you to sign up in the Discord group as well as live trading with Kait. Let me bring that up again on the screen. So I'm very excited. Again, this is my own way of teaching, a whole new way of simplifying trading. As you can see, I'm focusing on just a few main factors for trading, which is the 2-candle flip, trend, impulse, and corrective moves. It does take time to build your confidence with these as far as where are we looking for the origin of these moves to the upside and downside on the 2-candle flip. How are we looking for ways to splice in on pullbacks as well as breakout trades to the upside and to the downside? So again, looking for all of this is going to be key in your journey into becoming a more confident and successful, or more confident overall, a higher probability trader in the markets. Again, it does take time to implement this, but that's what I'm here for in these live trading with Kait sessions. Go to my website. I'm going to post that in the chat. Pretty simple, kaittrades.com. Kait is K-A-I-T for my name, Kaitlyn, kaittrades.com. So for right now, you can sign up for either live trading with Kait. When you click on that, you'll sign up for these classes, which are on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. Again, I want these prices to be affordable for you guys. I want as many people engaging in these sessions and taking advantage of the interaction in the community with other traders. So make sure you get signed up for that on the website. $125 per month, 3 days a week from 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern time. You can see that's really, a consolidated session where you're getting a lot out of it and finding those high probability trading. And then I also do one-on-one coaching. I have a lot of people who have already signed up. So thank you for reaching out. I think I've gotten back to most of you who have registered already. One-on-one coaching is at discounted rates as well. So if you are interested in this new approach, I have different packages just to make it more affordable and flexible for you guys based on your schedules. I offer packages of 1 session, 3 sessions, and 5 sessions for the one-on-one coaching. So if you want 1, 3, or 5, get signed up. Again, all of that is going to be on kaittrades.com. Let me see if I can get into the Discord group. Again, you guys are getting the first shot at my Kait Trades Discord group, so I'm very happy to have you all in there. I'm going to post the link again. Thank you all for joining already. Love it. I'm going to grab the link for you guys for the Discord group. Make sure you jump in. Again, there's so much more coming. This is just scratching the surface of how I want to reinvent and simplify trading with you guys. A whole new approach. We've only just scratched the surface of it today. But again, just going over in more detail these trade setups. I also want to implement a trade review each day, going over trade setups that we've been looking at. Let's see how they've been doing, assess them. What's the trend? Are we finding 2 candle flips? Is there potentially a trend change going on? So in our trade reviews, we're going to be confirming the 2 candle flips, confirming trend, impulse and correction moves, and then ultimately, where are our entry and exit points on each trade setup? We want to be very specific. Again, we're using that 2 candle flip, but by being flexible with time frames, we can look for ways to splice into some of those longer running move setups, which is ultimately the goal, is to build our confidence and look to stay in these trade setups longer. Again, my website, kaittrades.com. Get signed up for live trading with Kait. I'll be doing another session on Friday from, again, same time, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. Recordings are included. So I'll post the link in the chat for you guys as well. Let's see. Hey, Shri, good to have you here. How can we see the recording of the session? Let me just go back. So the recording, everyone registered with their email address. I'm going to send a follow-up email to everyone, just saying thank you for joining my session. It'll have the link to the YouTube recording that you can watch. If you missed any part of today's session, feel free to watch the recording. And of course, ask me questions. It may make it easier. My email is tradingcoach@kaittrades.com. That's my email. I'm going to post it again in the chat. You can also message me directly through the website. Okay, that's not what I meant to post. I wanted to get the other link. Let's see if that works. Again, my email is tradingcoach@kaittrades.com. Again, it's Kait, Kaittrades. Same thing with the website, kaittrades.com. Send an email to me there. You can also go to the website and click on the contact tab here. Also a really easy way to get a hold of me. Just put your name, your email address, your message, send me your message. If you have any questions on what we've covered today, any questions about the courses, the live trading sessions, as well as the one-on-one coaching. But overall, my goal is to simplify trading. I don't like how it's been done in the past. I feel like it can be very confusing and overwhelming for traders. I want to really simplify it for you. And you see all the chat, going on. I want to keep that going, answer your questions. So whatever you're struggling with, any questions, concerns, I want you to feel confident asking me either via email, and then also better yet in the live trading with Kait session, so we can go over your questions in the live markets and do a little bit more live trading. Any other questions from everyone in the chat? And thank you all so much. What a great turnout and engagement from all of you. I appreciate it so much as I start my new company, kaittrades.com, and really just looking to, improve your lives, your trading, your confidence overall. Take a look at the website, a couple testimonials, from previous students who have done coaching and trading with me in the past. Interview that I did also with Trader Merlin and some other things that are going to be coming. So stay in the loop, get signed up. I have other events coming out, different trading courses that I want to showcase with you guys who want a little bit more of the education. So yeah, keep that in mind. A lot coming. Just stay in the loop and keep an eye on the website for upcoming events as well as via email. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you, Scott, Lon. Thank you so much for coming. Let me try the link again. Looks like it should be working, but let me post it again in the chat. Let me know if that works. Love the group. Thank you all for coming. And again, we're just starting this journey together. I'm going to be posting a lot more in the Discord group, obviously creating these events based off of your ideas and what you're struggling with. So give me that feedback as well. Again, if there's any specific concepts that you would love to have a class on, do you want to learn more about the 2-candle flip? Do you struggle with trend? Are you not sure when to get in and out of trades? Do you struggle with staying in trades longer? All these things we can implement in courses and in live trading with Kait. So again, overall, just putting all those pieces together, what we talked about from today's session. One last thing is that, I think a student reached out that was interested in options as well. If you do trade options, the strategy can be implemented with that. As we're seeing when you find the 2-candle flip, often price uses that as the origin of changing direction. So for you or for options traders out there, you can also incorporate potentially looking to sell options, sell the premium for out of the money put options or out of the money call options, collect the premium as theta kicks in and options expiration approaches. You can benefit off those things with options trading as well by identifying these 2-candle flip areas as well as trend and many other odds enhancers we're going to be discussing during the foreseeable future in our live trading classes. I'm going to post the links directly so you guys can sign up for those. To sign up for for both things, you can just come to the courses page to sign up for live trading with Kait, and that's going to be $125 a month. Posted that link in the chat. And then for the one-on-one coaching, again, even if you just want one session with me, I'm doing that as well. And many of you have signed up. If you have signed up, I'm going to be responding to you guys today. It's been pretty busy getting all this together. And then to sign up for coaching, that link is in the chat as well. All right, if there's no other questions, thank you all again so much for coming. You'll get a follow-up email with the recording from today's session and the Discord link as well. Stay tuned for everything else I've got coming. It's going to be an exciting next couple of weeks as we continue to get all this underway. So thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys all on Friday for another amazing session of live trading with Kait. Thank you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys all on Friday. Bye, everyone.